Dear friends, we have all been witness to a grand illusion. An illusion so seamless, so vast, that it has not only shaped our financial markets but has rewritten our very perception of what power and success look like in the modern economy. The illusionists are not mere entertainers. They are the tech oligarchs, the titans of the digital age, the so-called Magnificent Seven. They do not simply create products, they create confidence. They conjure valuation out of perception. They have built an empire not on earnings, not on fundamentals, but on belief. But every illusion has its limits. Every grand trick must at some point reveal its mechanics. And when it does, the audience, investors, policymakers, and the public must decide whether they will continue to believe in the magic or recognize it for what it is, a carefully engineered spectacle built to concentrate power, extract wealth, and sustain dominance at any cost. The first and most essential trick in the illusionist's act is making perception indistinguishable from reality. These companies, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta, Nvidia, Tesla, do not merely thrive on investor confidence, they manufacture it. Investors seeking security and growth pour capital into these firms because they are seen as too dominant to fail. Their soaring stock valuations reinforce this perception, and in turn, the media amplifies their success. Financial news outlets, analysts, and tech evangelists fixate on their trillion-dollar milestones, their market supremacy, their so-called inevitability. This media hype draws in more investors, completing the cycle. But this cycle is not based on fundamentals. It is not based on earnings that justify these valuations. It is not based on technological superiority alone. It is based on a belief that these companies are unstoppable, that their growth is perpetual, that to invest anywhere else is to take unnecessary risk. And so the illusion sustains itself as long as no one looks too closely. Like all great illusionists, these firms do not work alone. Their success is not the result of pure competition, but of strategic interdependence, a web of self-reinforcing investments that inflate each other's valuations. Microsoft invests billions in OpenAI, ensuring that AI development remains dependent on NVIDIA's chips. Google pays Apple billions to be the default search engine on iPhones, creating a mutually beneficial financial arrangement that solidifies their control. Meta, Amazon, and Microsoft all rely on overlapping cloud infrastructures, artificial intelligence models, and advertising networks, making it nearly impossible to determine where one company's influence ends and another's begins. This is not free market competition. This is an ecosystem designed to reinforce itself. Each deal, each collaboration, each investment serves to bolster valuations, create artificial demand, and sustain the illusion of infinite growth. This is why their stock prices do not simply reflect their earnings, but their perceived inevitability. They do not just profit from the market, they shape it, ensuring that their dominance appears natural, when in reality it is anything but. The illusion does not stop at valuation. It extends into the real world, dictating the very financial structures that sustain these companies. Unlike traditional businesses, which rely on revenue and profit to expand, these firms have transformed their stock price into a financial weapon. A high valuation grants them access to unlimited capital. With soaring stock prices, they can secure credit at low interest rates, borrow vast sums with little scrutiny, and even use their own shares as currency for acquisitions. Their stock price is not just a measure of success, it is their success, leveraged to fuel aggressive expansion, hire top talent, and outcompete any emerging rival before it can become a true threat. This cycle of stock-based expansion does not reward sustainable business models, it rewards momentum. As long as the illusion holds, they can keep growing. As long as investors continue to believe, they can justify any valuation. But what happens when that belief wavers? Every great magic act ends with the reveal. And when the illusion breaks, it does not fade gently. It collapses. We have already seen the first cracks in the performance. Nvidia, the great AI juggernaut, suffered the largest single-day market cap loss in history, shedding nearly $600 billion in value overnight. This was not the result of declining earnings or catastrophic mismanagement. It was the result of perception shifting, of investors realizing, however briefly, that expectations had outpaced reality. And when perception falters, the cycle that once fueled growth reverses with devastating speed. Investors lose confidence, stock prices fall, and access to capital tightens. Companies that once seemed untouchable suddenly face existential threats, not because they are unprofitable, but because they were never designed to function outside of the illusion. This is the fragility of the modern tech oligarchy. They have built themselves not on production, not on sustainable economic principles, but on the manipulation of attention and belief. And history has shown us time and time again that when markets are driven by perception alone, the reckoning is inevitable. The illusionists of the oligarchy will not disappear. Even as the cracks form, even as the reality of inflated valuations and self-dealing practices comes into focus, they will work tirelessly to sustain the magic. They will shift narratives, adjust expectations, and find new ways to keep the illusion alive. And when the next wave of technological hype emerges, whether it be AI, quantum computing, or something yet unimagined, they will be there, ready to take center stage once again. But the question is no longer about them, it is about us. Will we continue to believe in the illusion? Will we accept the idea that a handful of corporations should dictate the course of innovation, the structure of markets, and the very shape of our financial reality? Will we let them perform this trick again, knowing full well how it ends? Or will we at last refuse to be fooled? The choice is ours. The illusion only holds if we let it.